Fred! My goodness, you're handsome, but who the heck are you? Oh, I'm you from an alternate universe. Is that all the explanation you've got? Yeah, I mean, that's all the explanation we got in Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Good point. So, are you like stuck here? Did you get sucked through like a portal or wormhole or something? Is there like a cataclysmic event that's concerning all the space castles across the multiverse? No, I was just bored. Wait, so you can just travel in between universes whenever you want? Yeah, totally. Our technology is pretty advanced, so like I turned this 1990s slap bracelet into an intergalactic travel device. It was actually pretty easy. I watched a YouTube video on how to do it. Oh, YouTube. Is there anything you can't learn on there? So I was actually just about to talk about Across the Spider-Verse, the hit sequel to Into the Spider-Verse. If you want, you're more than welcome to hang out and listen. Your timing couldn't be more perfect. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, you do your thing. I'll just hang out and chill. Do you have any beer? Do I have any beer? Do you even know me? Yes, I do. So by now you've no doubt seen Across the Spider-Verse, starring Shameik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Oscar Isaac, and a huge amount of guest stars and cameos. It's an excellent movie about identity, growing up, family, and more. It's easily one of the most stunning animated films I've ever seen and one of the most moving as well. But even beyond all of that, there's a ton of stuff happening beneath the surface. It's more than just a cool, really well-made Spider-Man movie. Let's talk about what makes Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse really special. Hey, that was a really good segue from the intro into the video topic. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. First off, I want to give big thanks and a huge amount of credit for this video to the folks on the Space Castle Discord. This video was inspired by, and many of the talking points in this video were brought up by the folks over there. An especially big shout out goes out to Super Laser Seth, Analog Almos, Freeman, and Danny Reeser for their brilliance and their insights. A link to the Discord is always in the show notes if you want to come over there and visit and be part of such excellent conversations. And this video will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse, what are you doing with your time in your life? Go see it. Go see it right now. So now that you've gone and seen Across the Spider-Verse, you know it's a direct sequel to the smash 2018 hit Into the Spider-Verse. It's a film centered around Miles Morales, aka Spider-Man, that dealt with coming into one's own, learning to use your gifts to help others, even if you got them by accident. It's just freaking cool. The visuals are amazing, the soundtrack is spectacular, and the cast is astonishing. Yes, those are all Spider-Man title adjectives. So in 2023, the long-awaited sequel was released, and it blows the whole concept and the universe, or universes in this case, wide open. It is the Empire Strikes Back to Into the Spider-Verse's A New Hope, in terms of broader scope, darker tone, higher stakes, and much, much more. And I can see this becoming people's favorite of the trilogy once it's all out and it's complete. In this film, we learn of a society of spider people from across all universes who have joined up under the leadership of Spider-Man 2099, aka Miguel O'Hara, in order to maintain the integrity of the multiverse and make sure nothing unravels the fabric of it. The need for this was brought about by the events of the first film, wherein the Kingpin attempted to build a super collider to open up a portal to another dimension so that he could reunite with alternate versions of his wife and child, who died in his and Miles Morales' own dimension. It all seems super awesome at first, and Miles himself is taken with the idea of thousands of people who are just like him, who have similar powers and life experiences and people he can relate to. Plus, he's really excited at the opportunity to see his good friends Gwen Stacy and Peter B. Parker from the first film, and to be able to hang out with them whenever the opportunity arises. But things quickly go south and take a darker turn. We come to learn that each Spider-Person must experience what's called a canon event, something that motivates and drives each Spider-Person to become a hero, and it steals their resolve to help others. Naturally, everybody's minds turn to Uncle Ben, myself included, and that's the case for the majority of the Spider people. But others have lost acquaintances or other family members that mean something to them as well. Captain Stacy, Gwen's father in each universe, is frequently killed in a canon event for both Gwen variants and Peter Parker variants. And we'll learn that Miles Morales' his own father, about to be promoted to captain in his universe, is destined to die, and the tragedy is Miles' own canon event. And if these canon events don't happen, if something disrupts them from taking place, we're shown in the film that the results are disastrous and often catastrophic. That universe begins to collapse. It requires a great deal of effort from the Spider Society to repair it, if they even can. And so, the main conflict of the film is laid out for us in the third act. Everybody in the Spider Society knows that every new Spider person is going to suffer a terrible loss. Miles' father will be that loss for him, and everybody except Miles has accepted it as part of destiny and a natural requirement to become a full-fledged Spider person and to keep that universe intact. And therein lies the rub. The reason for this video, and a topic that I don't think many people have touched on just yet. What happens when all of these Spider people become self-aware of their so-called destinies? There's a strange shift in the perception of the Spider people, both for us and for Miles himself, when the realization comes that people have to die for Spider people to become legitimized, and for a universe to keep going. Even Peter B. Parker, who we grew to love as the character in the first film, simply goes along with this horrifying revelation. There's a status quo for the Spider Society, and the idea that it's okay for people to die for the greater good is shocking to both us and to Miles Morales. And it was a really brave choice on the part of the writers to have Peter B., who endeared himself to audiences in the first film, be someone who goes along with this and is accepting of people dying without an effort being made to save them. And all of this is driven by Miguel O'Hara. Miguel learned how to travel between dimensions and originally did so for selfish reasons. He tried to step into the life of a dead version of himself and live with that Miguel's family for his own happiness. And that universe tragically collapsed as a result, and it drove Miguel to fight to maintain the safety and security of the multiverse as a whole. Now, all that seems really noble and altruistic on the part of Miguel. He made a terrible mistake, like many Peter Parkers do, and he wants to devote his life to atoning for it and making sure it never happens again. But Miguel attempted exactly what the Kingpin attempted in Into the Spider-Verse, and he succeeded. The parallels between these two characters run deep, and it's worth noting that Miguel's own obsessions are what caused him to become the de facto villain of this film Across the Spider-Verse. And that obsession goes beyond just the loss of his family. It goes beyond even wanting to protect the multiverse from his own mistakes being repeated. Miguel is a fanatic. His grief and desire to help others motivates him, but his sense of entitlement towards being a Spider person is what really drives him. And that's the big question I think Across the Spider-Verse asks, and one that I think is the most important thing worth exploring in the film. What happens when all of these Spider people who are motivated by the loss in their canon event tragedies learn that those events weren't actually theirs to prevent? That they're not a bunch of average schmucks who fell into special powers randomly, and they are all destined to become Spider people. Perhaps the most defining characteristic of each Spider person is their grief and guilt at inadvertently causing a close family member's death. It's Ben Parker who teaches most of the Peter Parkers we know that with great power comes great responsibility, and it's that lack of awareness and acceptance of that responsibility that causes Uncle Ben to die thousands of times across thousands of universes. It's the grief, anger, and refusal to allow it to ever happen again that pushes each Spider person to become a hero. And when you remove that personal guilt and replace it with destiny, you get a whole bunch of Spider people who are no longer fully selfless adventurers. They become entitled. They become okay with the idea of one person dying to save many others, and that ideology is the exact opposite of everything Peter Parker stands for as a symbol. So what Across the Spider-Verse actually is... Okay, this is gonna fucking blow your mind, so we'll take a brief interlude so you can prepare yourself mentally. Across the Spider-Verse is actually a complete deconstruction of the Spider-Man mythos, and most people didn't see it coming. There are now thousands of Spider people out there in the multiverse who are like, yeah, it really sucks about Uncle Ben or Captain Stacy or Jeff Morales, but man, check out our awesome new Spider Society and all the cool adventures we get to go on all the time. It was all worth it. That's really bleak. And it's brilliant. These are a bunch of spider-powered individuals who are completely free of their guilt and grief because they know it wasn't their fault. And all of these people have accepted, at Miguel's leadership, that being a Spider person is their birthright. And suddenly their own crusades to do right become intimately personal in a way they shouldn't. It's no longer about preventing Uncle Ben-esque tragedies from befalling others. It's about the idea itself of being a hero and saving people because they are the elite group of people who can do it. Miguel becomes a fanatic about the rules and preservation of the multiverse. It becomes his own personal mission for his own personal reasons rather than for the actual good of everyone. So he's accepted that you have to break a few eggs in order to make a bunch of omelets, and all of the other spider people who have each had this reawakening upon learning about the multiverse and their own predetermined destinies have joined him in it. And for all these people, being a spider person has stopped being a tragic privilege. It's become a right. Damn, dude, that was deep. Thanks. By the way, I was going to ask you, where you come from, is it Berenstain Bears or is it Berenstein Bears? No, actually, in our universe, it's Starenbane Bears. What the f***? So Miles and Miguel become at odds with each other over all of this. Not only because Miles' father Jeff is in danger and Miles wants to save him, but because Miguel's beliefs and actions run counter to who and what a spider person is. And Miguel berates and threatens Miles, not because Miles is a danger to the multiverse, he is, but because he thinks Miles is an anomaly. He views Miles as somebody who became Spider-Man by true accident and not by destiny. And how dare this kid who became a Spider-Man by accident defy all of these people who are pure and anointed spider folk in their very important mission to literally make sure certain people die. It's really f***ed up. Peter B., Gwen, Spider-Punk, and even Spider-Ham, who we've grown to love over these two films, are okay with individuals dying so that millions more might be saved. And that's why our Miles Morales from Earth 1610, who should have never become Spider-Man in the first place, is the best of them all. And despite being a quote-unquote anomaly and an accident, is the true shining example of what a Spider-Man or Spider-Person should be. Because he actually did become Spider-Man by accident, not being appointed the role by birthright or destiny. And that, my friends, is what makes Across the Spider-Verse absolutely brilliant. By showing us what happens to all of these spider people when their sense of selfless responsibility is replaced by entitlement. And by reminding us that what makes Spider-Man great is the fact that, to paraphrase the late Stan Lee, it could be anybody under that costume. Spider-Man as a symbol across races, genders, and all walks of life is the underdog who fell into superpowers by accident and who uses those powers to help people not because they want to, but because they feel they have to. It's a sense of duty rather than self-gratifying undertaking. Even if, like with the case with Miguel, it seems to serve the greater good. And I cannot wait to see how the makers of Across the Spider-Verse right the wrongs of this multiverse and figure out a way to fix all of the spider people, correct their errors, and get them back to where they should be. The purest form of Spider-Man as represented by Miles Morales. Thank you. It's what I do. That was very, very good. So you just popped into this universe because you were bored? Yeah, it gets pretty lonely on my space castle. I mean, don't you have like a Goldblum or an onboard AI to like talk to and hang out with? Oh, no. No, I disconnected him and shut him off after I got tired of him trying to kill me all the time and berate me. It was terrible.
You what?
But how do you fly the space castle without an onboard AI? Oh, dude, it's like really, really easy. Like a child could pilot one of these things. It's no big deal.
Yes. I believe it's time for you to be going now.
Goldblum, what the hell? You could have killed him!
No. It's not his destiny to die today.
Wait, do all DTs have a special destiny?
That'll do it for this episode of Space Castle.
This conversation is not over. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below about your thoughts on Across the Spider-Verse and its notions of destiny and Spider-Man in general. It really does help in our mission to explore the universe for all things nerdy. And if you'd like to help out even more, consider becoming part of the Galactonaut crew yourself at patreon.com/spacecastlepod. There's some really great people there enjoying some additional content, perks on our Discord, and much, much more. And we'd love to give a big, huge, warm welcome to the newest member of the squad, Justin W. Thanks so much for jumping aboard. Thanks again to everybody for hanging out at Space Castle with me. Be sure to share this video with a friend, and this is your Captain DT, signing off.